Hello everybody, it is me and Ia today. Hi. Okay, so as you saw from the title, I want to talk about the Press Esc podcast. And I just want to say that it's the worst podcast I've ever seen. It's like so awful and I absolutely despise it. Just kidding. It's freaking opposite day. I just wanted to talk about something that's really interesting to me right now at this moment. And maybe after watching this video, you'll be like, hey, I've never heard about this podcast before. Maybe I'll give it a try. Or maybe you're like, I have heard of that podcast, but I haven't been motivated or really interested in watching it. But now you will be interested in watching it after hearing somebody so passionate about it. All right? Okay. So, I love the Press Escape podcast. It is wonderful. It is a beautiful light to my Sunday mornings, and I'm so happy that Alyssa and Valkyrae, I'm so glad that they started it together. And oh my gosh, I haven't seen an episode yet where I haven't cried. But it's like multiple different kinds of crying. Like crying from sadness, crying from happiness, crying from such deep relating to a video or like a topic that they're talking about. And it's just, oh my goodness. One thing I wanted to say that I really like about it is I love how they have their dogs on sometimes. Like and guests have their dogs in there too. Like when Markiplier brought Chica, oh my goodness, I love Chica. She's such a cute big old doggy. And then I really like that one Chihuahua that's on there and Mika, and it's just, I don't know. I'm a big fan of dogs and I love seeing dogs, and I love this dog. Look at her. Her shirt says coolest dog ever. Because that's right, she is the coolest dog ever. She looks a little goofy right now because she just got a haircut. But just let it grow out, okay? Let it grow out. She's beautiful on the inside, okay? Trust. But anyways, that's just one small thing that I like about it. But everything else that I love is just how deep they go into certain topics and how relatable those topics can be. Because, just for some context, they're both Filipina, and they talk about that a lot. And well, I'm Mexican. I'm not Filipina at all. But the the way that they talk about like immigrant families and how they work and that disconnect with their culture, the way they talk about it, it just feels so similar to my experience. Of course, there's differences between their and my experience, and I think I'm fully Mexican. I think, but I think both of them are half white. I don't know. It's just we're not the same at all. But the way that the vocab and words that they use to describe how they feel about it is just so real and raw. And so me, like, just like the same, guys. It's just the same. There's just the vocabulary is beautiful. Okay, very educated, very smart, and I love it. It opens my eyes to the different ways to interpret your feelings. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But another thing that I really like how much detail they go into is with the mental health challenges, mental disorders, more specifically when they talk about depression and anxiety and autism. It's just, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. That's what I'm trying to say. I think the first episode that I watched was with Jacksepticeye or Sean, and they talked a lot about the autism experience. And I just like to say that I'm not diagnosed as autistic, but I heavily see myself in the criteria for autism. And I have gone through the process of obtaining a diagnosis. I didn't get the diagnosis, but oh my gosh, that whole entire system of getting diagnosed is so awful. And my experience was so awful. Like, actually so bad. I could make a whole nother video about it, but it was awful, and I am gonna seek another opinion in a bigger city, because I did it in this smaller town, and I don't think their resources are as good. And oh my gosh, yeah, I can make a different video about that. That is just a whole entire thing. But yeah, that episode with Sean, that really hit home. The challenges that they talked about, but also how easily they talked about it. It wasn't super weird and uncomfortable. And during other episodes, Ray would have questions that are worded a little bit funny, but it's just purely out of curiosity and not out of offense. Like, everything around that topic of mental health and disorders, it's so kind and so natural, and it's just, I don't cry out of sadness because I feel bad for them. I cry because it's so different than other places that I've seen online. The online space is so much bigger nowadays, and I think it can be more open and somewhat more kind. Like, there's a lot more creators that do autism awareness and support, but there's still so much hate, so much misinformation, like the acoustic stuff. It's so annoying. But it's really nice to have this space, this podcast, where these, might I say, very beautiful women talk very kindly about this subject. And another podcast episode that I really liked was the one with Cutie Cinderella. I really like her content, so I was really excited for this episode when it came out. But one thing that they talked about, I can't even remember what it was specifically called right now, but it's where you feel outside of your body and like you're just watching it. And I think I've only met maybe one other person who has felt that way too. And so it just feels kind of isolating when you're experiencing something that you don't know how to even put into words, and that you don't know if anybody else feels it. But they were talking about it in the podcast with Cutie. It was just such a shock in a beautiful way. No, it was it was such a shock to hear these content creators, I guess, or big YouTubers talk about something that is so deep within the soul, within the mind, that it felt impossible to bring that out. But like I said, by them talking about it, it was another mind explosion, because they had words and vocabulary, very educational, very smart, to describe this feeling that I hadn't heard anybody else have before. Listening to something like that feels so invasive, but in like a really uplifting, supportive way. Does that make sense? And then in this most recent episode with Iron Mouse, I did shed a tear or two, perhaps, but it wasn't specifically because I related to the exact same experience as what they were talking about as I did in past episodes, but it was more so because of a similar feeling or a similar effect of something health affecting your brain mentally, you know? So as a youngin', a wee little lass, I think in 3rd grade, I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. And if you don't know what that is, it's like I'll probably put a definition right here. So basically, how it affected me was in the center of my foot, I had a huge amount of pain doing anything. I also wanted to note that plantar fasciitis affects mostly 40 to 60-year-olds. And I got it when I wasn't even double digits yet. It got so bad where at night I would just be crawling around yelling and crying because of how much it hurt. And I'd like be crawling up the stairs, when we did have stairs, and just barely even be able to pull myself to go to the bathroom or pull myself on top of the chair to eat dinner. Like, I couldn't even eat, it hurt so bad. I played soccer, I played basketball, and I played, I think it was baseball or softball, I don't even remember, but it was like kid stuff. And I had to drop all of it because it hurt so much. I did play basketball for a little bit longer with foot inserts and lots of physical therapy, but it was just so difficult to do anything that required a lot of walking or a lot of moving. And so that made me feel really isolated and feel unable to participate in a lot of the things that people around me were doing. If I would be participating, I would be miserable the entire time. For example, I barely remember this because it's been so long, but I went to Disneyland with some family and I could barely walk. I honestly think I should have gotten a wheelchair, but I don't know. Because I was so young, I was kind of just seen as being lazy. So I was sitting in my niece's stroller for a lot of the time. But yeah, that's a whole entire another thing. When you have a condition of this nature, aka invisible disability, it's really hard to explain to people why you can't do something. Especially with my family, they're kind of can be not very the most open-minded. So them seeing me, just like a little 7-year-old hobbling around saying that I can't walk, that's lazy, guys. That was so lazy. Like, literally, bro, just walk. But in reality, guys, my foot is on fire. Cut it off, please. And it wasn't even just the foot, the pain. It was all the way up my leg. It traveled up my back. And then because one leg, my left leg, hurt so bad, I had to compensate using my right leg more. But by compensating, it would make my right leg hurt because I'd be putting too much on it. And then I didn't just have plantar fasciitis. My Achilles tendon was also shorter on one side, the left side, than the other. So that's caused a slight curvature in my spine, and one of my legs is a little bit longer than the other one, which causes knee pain that I still have now. And it's very difficult to walk around for long periods of time. But anyways, how does this all relate to the Press Esc podcast? Well, in the, like I said before, the Iron Mouse episode, they were talking a lot about medical conditions. And the way that I related to that was how isolating it can feel sometimes. Like when you're stuck in your house while maybe people you know, like friends or family, are out doing other things, but you just can't because you physically cannot. And then also, another way that I related, it's definitely not as intense or as bad or anything like that, but I also get sick really easily, and it really sucks. In kindergarten and a little bit before that, so like 4 or 5 years old, I had multiple surgeries, a couple surgeries, 2 surgeries. I don't know the details exactly of what was going on, but this was not functioning correctly. And my body is just so bad at fighting off sicknesses that when I get sick, it's really bad, and I get sick so easily and it lasts for so long. Like right now, in between shots, I'm like full on blowing my nose like crazy. And before this, I had to clear myself out. And I'm fighting the urge to cough all the time. But yeah, I'm just coming off a sickness right now. But anyways, yes, the episode was really awesome. And it was it's really awesome. And I feel it. I feel some of those episodes in my bones. But then it also gives you an insight into the lives of these creators. I'm not sure if any of you guys watching this are fans of Valkyrae or Alyssa, but I definitely am, or at least I was. I don't really watch games anymore, to be honest. But I do like things that Valkyrae does. Like Hi Studios, very excited for that. But even outside of them themselves, it's interesting to see life as a content creator and how these guys are actually people-y people. outside of everything that they do. And seeing their stories of how they get there is really motivational. Like, hey, these guys are experiencing something so similar to me, and look where they are now. That is beautiful and wonderful and powerful. Maybe I should go for my dreams too. Yeah. That's the video, and like I said, I hope you guys go check out the Press Esc podcast. I really needed to make this video because I cannot hold in my love and my passion anymore. I needed to get it out somewhere. Like during a couple podcasts, like the Cutie Cinderella one and the Sean and Markiplier one, I would be like texting my friends, sending huge blocks of how much I loved it and how much I appreciated it and how much I related to it. And I was like, guys, please watch it. Please, 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 please. I need somebody to talk to about this. But they're busy people, and I can't be expecting them to make time to watch this freaking podcast. But I hope you guys do. You guys should definitely watch the podcast. It's beautiful, wonderful, powerful. Maybe I'll link it down below if I remember to do that. But anyways, thank you for watching. Yeah. See you later. Ia says bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Ia. Bye-bye. Ah, shoot, man. I forgot to do an outfit tour. Look at this. Yeah. This is from... Oh, no. This is from a person on Etsy. And then look at a little bugler. Got a little booty hole. And then my AirPods. And then a little Tinky Winky. And then my shorts I cut myself. And then my socks. There's two pairs of socks. There's one white one. These polka dot ones. And then these purple leggings. And... oh shoot, I already took it off. But I have these spikes choker from, I don't know actually, maybe Hot Topic or something. And then this necklace I got from a club's day at my school. And then, here's one earring, it broke, but it used to be a flower from a necklace. And so I turned it to an earring. And then these are from I think a small business somewhere online. I don't follow them anymore, so I couldn't link them. And then this is probably from Hot Topic. And then this is the matching one to this side. And of course my glasses and my makeup, you can't really see it. But it's there. Oh, and I also wore my demonias. Right here. Okay, bye-bye for real now. Thank you for watching. Please go watch Press Esc podcast. And subscribe. Actually, subscribe. Yeah. Okay, see you later.